So, is Vidal Riley a future world champion? Despite being called a YouTuber from a lot of his rivals in the cruiserweight scene, Isaac Chamberlain notably, Vidal Riley, he looks like a very good boxer. He has a very good amateur record and he's undefeated so far and hasn't really been tested as his fights have been getting harder. He got through Quales fairly comfortably to win his English title, and then he defended it again fairly comfortably against Lawal, where he had a broken rib. What criticism has Riley received? Well, obviously for the Quales fight, he got criticised for not being able to get him out of there, but I would give him some leeway because some people fight, not to get knocked out. They're doing everything in their power to not get knocked out. And against Lawal, people did say the fight was boring, but he did break his rib in the first round. Lawal broke Riley's rib in the first round, and he got through it, fairly comfortably in the end. Kind of dancing around, Lawal hitting and not getting hit. And although Lawal didn't really look hurt, you have to give Riley some credit because his shots clearly must have had power, because if his shots didn't have power, I think Lawal would have put it on Riley a bit more, If Lawal had gone, right, this guy, I can take his shots, let me just go to all of him and throw all my shots at him as well. We would have seen a bit more of a war. But I think the fact that Lawal didn't show too much against Riley suggests that he has got power. So what are Riley's strengths? Well, as I said, he has got power. He has got some knockouts in his earlier fights, his two fights against Taj notably. And to be fair to Taj, the guy brought it to him, gave him a good fight. And he hurt Riley as well. Riley even said that he got hurt, but he broke down his own fight. He said Taj should catch him. So he got through two wars with Taj and Anis. Obviously, he has got a belt now, which means he is, he is officially a professional boxer. Which I think was something he said was getting on his nerves, A lot of people calling him, just a YouTuber. But now he's got that belt, he is a defined professional boxer. But how far can he go? Can he go all the way? Well, a good way to test that would be to see how would he do against Isaac Chamberlain. Isaac Chamberlain is probably around about a European level fighter. Obviously, he just lost the European belt to Massey, but he's probably around about that level. He's lost to Okoli and Billam Smith, who both went on to be champions. So he got credit for those fights. His fight with Billam Smith was a war. His fight with Okoli was like the ugliest fight I've ever seen. Do not watch it, whatever you do. And then obviously Massey, first 8 rounds were kind of even, but then in the last 4 rounds, Chamberlain kind of fell off. And that's why Riley thought he would beat Chamberlain. He says, look, I can do what Massey did in those last 4 rounds throughout the entire fight. And I think I'm tempted to agree. Riley does seem like a very disciplined fighter. He follows instructions. He does what he's told. He doesn't let his ego get in the way. He doesn't try and go for the knockout when it's not there. He's happy to box and win and not try and take any stupid risks. I guess maybe you would like to see his fights become a little bit more exciting. If every fight is like the Lawal fight, maybe you'll lose some fans along the way. But I'm not that concerned. I think Vidal Riley is a very intelligent fighter, boxing-wise, but also he understands the game of boxing. He understands you've got to have an audience. You've got to sell fights, you've got to take hard fights, and you have to win. He's a very knowledgeable in the fight game. I guess he's been in it all his life, obviously, since he boxed for Great Britain at the Olympics, and it's looking like he's going to have a very successful career. So, what are the next fights for Riley? Obviously, Isaac Chamberlain would be ideal. Did Isaac Chamberlain duck Riley? Then he say he's ducked because he did go on to better things. He went for the European instead of defending the British, but if he went for the British, it would have been Chev Clark, or the English would have been Vidal Riley. Both hard fights, like Chev Clark knocked out Zorro, who had only been knocked out by Opataya. And, Chev Clark looks like he's got very heavy hands. And obviously Vidal Riley, very, very smart fighter, very smart boxer. Did he duck them? I guess it's hard to say he did duck them because he did take, on paper, a harder fight, which is obviously originally supposed to be against Cieslak, but he got injured, so in came Massey. I was very surprised to see that Massey was the underdog for the fight because he's a previous world champion. He's been in there against Parker, gave him a good run. So for everyone to kind of write off Massey was a bit surprising to me. I guess he's like the bigger name because he's been in there with Billam Smith and Okoli. People kind of recognise him a bit more. Perhaps that was why he was the favourite for the fight, being in South London as well, I guess. That's where all his people are. But Massey did well to come, to win against Isaac Chamberlain. And Massey should hopefully be on for bigger and better things. How would Riley do against the now champions of the division? I think his fight with Billam Smith would be like a chess match, both intelligent fighters that listen to their coaches, both very disciplined, both don't take unnecessary risks, both probably not known for having one-shot power, but both definitely have got power. Like, Riley can get people out of there. But Billum Smith's knockout against Ho Zhang is a crazy knockout, and that was fairly recent as well. So both have got power, but not kind of power punches in a sense. So I think that would be like a chess match. Opetaya, I think that would be a war. Like, realistically, I think that would be a war. I think Opetaya's got that, look, go in there with me, I'm going to knock you out. So I think that would be a war, more of like a chess match. Opetaya has shown a few weaknesses. Obviously, he's probably the king of the division right now. His 2 wins over Maris Bradis, who went to war with Usyk. You deserve a lot of credit for. But, you know, he showed weaknesses. Sounds a bit harsh, because obviously he won the fight fairly comfortably in the end. But he showed there were places you can get him against Bradis, you know, in the last few rounds. Bradis was having success. You know, he was hurting Opetaya. And in that first fight, he got his jaw broken. So I think, yeah, I think that'll be a war. It's hard to say how well Riley would do, because we haven't seen him, you know, properly tested yet. You know, he's coming up the levels well. He's doing everything he should be doing. Obviously, a win over Chamberlain would be nice. A win over Chev Clark would be great as well. Really to give him some clout in this cruiserweight scene. I think Riley, Riagpor probably beats Riagpor, you know, after that Vidal Smith performance. Maybe I'm being a bit biased here, because I am, you know, quite a big fan of Riley. I like his personality. I like his boxing channel. So maybe I am being a bit biased here, but I feel like he would have success. Who do I think would give Riley a hard fight? Obviously, I think Vidal Smith would be a hard fight. Opetaya goes without saying. Chev Clark, I guess Chev Clark has that one-punch power, which we haven't seen him against, really. So that would definitely be an interesting fight. And I think once we've seen those, I think once we've seen a Chev Clark or an Isaac Chamberlain, I think we can be like, oh, this guy's coming. You know, after a Chev Clark or an Isaac Chamberlain, we see him against a Massey, perhaps, or a Sieslak. These would be good stepping stones. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Vidal Riley. I think he does have what it takes to become a future world champion. He's disciplined. He's got power. He listens to his coach. He's very smart. He understands boxing well. He's taking, you know, the correct steps. He's taking hard fights. He's not taking any gimmick fights. He's taking the correct steps. He's fighting the right people at the correct times. He's looking good when he's doing it. Maybe he's a little bit boring at times, but all in all, I have been very impressed with Vidal Riley. What about you? Do you think Vidal Riley has what it takes to become a world champion at cruiserweight and defeat the likes of Opetaya, Ramirez, Billum Smith? Let me know in the comments down below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.